Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome back. Um, yeah, I think today is one of those days again where I don't really have anything to say at the beginning, so let's just let's just get right into it. Yeah, I just have that sometimes. Usually I would like to have a few minutes of just chatting at the beginning of each stream, but I also kind of feel like if I don't have anything to talk about, then why should I do that? Yeah, so last time we built all of this, which is a lot, but it's mostly the same kind of building, so it didn't take too long. And today what I want to do is just add some finishing touches to this part of the city. Also, we still have the upper part and some extra stuff at the fortress. But today I just want to clean up the part that we've already built, make sure that it looks nice, and then yeah, there's still some space left on top of this mountain, so maybe if we have time I can deal with that, and then we'll see where it goes from there, right? So I think I want to start by simply painting the street and terraforming it a little bit. Right now this edge is really round, which is not quite what I want. Yeah, I'll just go in here by hand and fix this up a little bit. Wait, maybe I don't even need my hand. I can just do it with lobe. Right. Lower the Y limit and the radius. Wait, I only have raise. Should be lower and raise. Because now... that didn't work quite as intended. Let's increase the Y limit just a little bit. But decrease the radius. I don't want to accidentally destroy anything. Yeah, just like that right now. Okay, that is a lot better, but still needs some manual fixing, of course. So let's get these blocks. And then I just want to clean up the street, make it look like a proper path that you can take upwards and downwards. Okay, I'll just do it by hand. This is obviously not working. Maybe if it's a street made out of stone, it should be as even as possible. I'm sorry if you can hear that, but someone just started hammering something very close to me. Like positioned close to me, not hammering something that is close to me. Yeah. Okay, so this should probably be a staircase down. That would make most sense. So yeah, I would guess right here, just having this. Don't worry, I'm going to fill in the hole down there. For now, I just want to get the rough shape going. Oh, come on. Yeah, someone is really loud right now, which I don't appreciate. I don't. But I hope you can't hear it. I feel like you can't because OBS isn't showing anything. Yeah, maybe I should even this out a little bit. We could even place some extra houses. Though maybe not because of the marketplace being right here. I don't want to have roofs blocking the view. Okay, I think a 4-wide staircase is okay. Though I don't like how it is not aligned with the street. But if I place it a different way, well, it can't really be aligned right now. This is just kind of how I built it. So what I could do is this, maybe even this. And then move it myself. So like this. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Just means that I have to extend the house a little bit further down. But that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I feel like that's fine now. Though it could still be better. Let me place another block right here. Yeah, it's fine. For the future, I've definitely learned a lot about level design. So right now, what this area is some kind of mix of open zone and linear. So kind of like an open zone with a linear layout, I guess, which is cursed. I think I want to go more into the actual open zone kind of way. I think open world is too much. I just don't like its kind of decision fatigue and too many paths to go, and you don't know where to actually progress the story. Well, it depends on how it's done, right? There are obviously a lot of, especially like proper games, do know how to do that. But I feel like it's not quite my style. I like to have I'm usually more of a fan of linear progressions, but I do also see the appeal of being able to freely explore an area. And that is where I think open zones come in. Because now you can freely explore an area, but you still have linear progression in those areas. So you go from one zone to the next one, and from that to the next one again. And that sounds to me like you can do a lot more. Like one very famous thing that games like Breath of the Wild struggle with even is just balancing and making sure that the player is able to go everywhere and progress everywhere. Also means that it all needs to be relatively same in terms of balance. Of course, you can have invisible levels, Breath of the Wild does, but it's also kind of janky, I guess. I feel like. And to me, it seems more, or it seems like a better idea to, instead of ignoring the balancing, just making what you want to make and then progress into the next zone. I feel like a normal open world is unnecessarily challenging in terms of balancing. Do people actually still want open worlds? Like, yeah, of course they do, but like completely open worlds where you have no restrictions of going anywhere. Because what I feel like it's either you are able to freely explore the world, but there are areas that are just higher level, which is kind of like an artificial barrier. Or everything is balanced around the player's progression, which also means that you're basically climbing an infinite ladder. That is, for example, what a lot of gacha games do. So you are comfortable in your level with the enemies, and then you progress far enough to level up your characters again. But as you do that, the enemies also get stronger, which means that basically nothing changes. You just have that brief period where you have to level up your characters before you can actually start playing again. And that's just like leveling up for the sake of leveling up, because nothing really changes. The enemies don't get new attacks, and there are also no new enemies that spawn. It's just the same, but with a higher number attached. Yeah, and the other way would be still having manually balanced areas, with having the player being able to freely explore those. But that can also be, what is it called? Unimmersive. Yeah, not immersive anymore if you go into a new zone and the enemies just destroy you. Yeah, so I feel like open zone is the best path that could go as a developer. Because you, on one hand, have the freedom of creating big open areas that you can freely explore and find things in. But on the other hand, you also don't have to compromise when it comes to balancing. But I mean, I also really enjoy exploring open areas, but just not the big ones like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild for me, for example, was already too much. Like I felt like the world didn't need to be this big. Especially because most of the activities that you do, as in most open world games, is just mostly the same thing over again. And Tears of the Kingdom didn't really improve on that. If we consider 1000 Korok seeds, and in Breath of the Wild 900 again, that's, yeah. Oh hey, yeah, I'm using this mod, which is called Axiom. It's written like this. I can type. This is the mod that I use for building, and it gives me all those features that you see right here, like painting over blocks like this, an extended inventory, and a lot of these options and even more. Yeah, it's fabric only. I feel like Forge has been dying down or dying a lot recently. So most mods these days are made for fabric, and Forge is still kind of living, but a lot less people use it. But yeah, I get it. I was also for the most time stuck with Forge. But honestly, I can really recommend switching to fabric. Yeah, Axiom, right. Can also show it to you right here. This is the mod. And yeah. Okay, so I've been kind of placing blocks right now with no real plan of what I'm actually doing. So let's kind of plan out this area now. We have now 3 levels of this. Where do we go from here? Because I don't feel like there's much space for any kind of houses. But we also already have a marketplace. I could place some small huts or make this a... Oh, I don't know, I kind of misplanned this, I feel like. That is probably on me. Yeah, what do we do with this area? Let's place stairs firstly to maybe give all of this a little bit more shape. Okay, some railings, of course. Let me get out the stone bricks for that. Yeah, maybe I should have done a little bit more preparation before stream. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, okay, I can do this. Let's just go into it and build. Now I'm sitting here not knowing what to do, which is kind of awkward. Let's paint this street. So what did I do? I had a simplex noise brush, I think, with andesite. Wait, there's stone in the houses, right? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So let's filter this the Y level of this block, which is, let's look at it, 175. So right here I put 175. I have caps lock turned on. 175. And I say and stone. Okay, that's one thing that kind of annoys me, is that things that automatically attach to the top replace everything else that is already there. Okay, again. Yeah, it only focuses on the ground level, and I can freely draw over this without having to worry about replacing anything that I don't want to replace. So this pattern might not be what I'm looking for. Maybe splatter could work slightly better. What else do we have? No. Oh, wait. That might actually be nice. But I feel like this is easier to do by hand, because the pattern or the noise brush doesn't really know where the houses are. Yeah, let's go with splatter. Wait, never mind. Meatball? No, meatball is, I think, too big again. Yeah, okay, splatter it is. Okay, this already gives the street a little bit more shape. Though obviously that doesn't make up for the fact that yeah, that we still don't know what to do down here. Let's just paint everything and hope for the best, I guess. Oh, that was not high enough. Oh, not low enough. Right. Okay. Yeah, to me, this area kind of looks like it could work with some greenery. Though also maybe not. Like the transition from lower district to upper district is really subtle. Not subtle, it's really abrupt, I think. So yeah, we can clearly see a big difference in color. This side is really kind of brown and orange, kind of, and this side is just gray. Of course, the roofs are brown, but it's kind of a contrast compared to the roofs and the street. Whereas in the lower district, roofs and street use the same kind of blocks or color. Maybe I just place some small houses, I guess. Would that work? I mean, okay, look. These houses are usually pretty big. 14 blocks. Let's see how much space do we have here. 9. Okay, this is obviously not quite working. So what would I expect when walking down to the lower district? Maybe some carts, some boxes with goods that could be delivered. Maybe a small storage space. Yeah, actually that could work. Let's just go with that, and maybe I can see the vision from there. Let's get some barrels. Beehives are also very nice for decoration. Normal chests and composters also, of course. Yeah, let's just go with that for now. I also need a slab as well as a trapdoor. So yeah, one thing that I really like doing, that I've also done a lot in this map already, is just place these boxes of whatever you have. Put some trapdoors on top. And this is basically already a good piece of decoration. And now you can, of course, put multiple of those right next to each other. Or maybe you could go with a big composter box right next to that. And because it's big, why not also put a big block on top? Or a slab in this case. Oh, this might actually be too big. No, I think that works. I have some more blocks. What was it? Let me look over here. Oh, well, yeah, chiseled bookshelves are amazing. Note blocks, which I completely forgot. And yeah, okay, if you feel lazy, you could also just go with normal wood. Let's also take a sign out. Yeah. And it would make sense that similar decorations stand in the bonus area down there and in the city, because both are maintained by the same people. Let's see, I definitely think this needs a railing. And we've already had a lot of smooth stone, so this time I want to change it up a little bit. Could go for polished andesite, or just any polished block in general. Polished tough, no, I've used that too much now. Maybe even have a complete color switch with polished deep slate or diorite. Let's try a little bit of all of them. I'll start with andesite. And that doesn't look too bad. Let's try deep slate at the top. That might actually be too dark. Well, yeah, obviously. And I painted the house, of course. Yeah, let's go with the andesite. That's fine. And we still need a wall on top. And that could be tough bricks, maybe. Could also mix in some cobblestone. Yeah, I mean, color-wise, that fits very well. And if I just replace some of these with cobblestone. Yeah, they do fit together in a weird way, I think. Yeah, let's go with that. Though this railing needs a different color, definitely. Can't be the same as the stairs. Let's look at different bricks. we are already using tough bricks right now. Deep slate, though again that might be too dark. Do we have some different polished blocks maybe? I mean, okay, polished tough could work if we have polished or tough bricks at the top. Yeah, though it blends in a little bit too much maybe. Okay, no, the deep slate is not working in here. That is not quite it. Smooth stone maybe? I'm really just experimenting right now. There is no real plan behind this. Or do we just go with the same as the rest? Honestly, that could fit. Let's try it out for this one as well, because it's a little bit easier to see here. No, wait, this would need to be smooth stone. And then take the polished tough. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of over-decorating this entire map, basically. But at this point, I'm too far in. But this is definitely one thing that I've learned, is that kind of went too far with the decoration on this map. Like, yeah, it's my first map, it's alright, mistakes happen. But just the amount of time that I've spent making this area look nice. I mean, it does look nice now. But I also wasted way too much time for something that, well, I mean, players are probably going to appreciate that it looks so nice, but it also means that time is going up and doesn't stop going up, and this map just doesn't make progress. I mean, we've been building the city for like a good month now, maybe. Or have we? Well, not a month maybe, but definitely a lot of streams. I think when I counted, it was like 7 or 8. Yeah, that would be half a month. Yeah, and I feel like this could have been done way quicker if I just didn't waste so much time. And definitely for future maps, like not this trilogy. This trilogy I've already kind of set in stone that it's going to be a lot of very expensive decoration. But I think for future maps, one-shots maybe, I definitely want to keep it a little bit lower on the decoration side. Because if I keep going with this, we can look at my statistics. I am over 200 hours in, and this map is like 60% done. So for obvious reasons, I need to tune it down a little bit. I cannot keep supporting this. But well, that's something to keep in mind for next time. And after this map, or even in between, depending on how fast and how much I build, I definitely want to create some smaller one-shot maps. But of course, one thing that I'm just not going to get rid of is the stories. I want to keep making maps with deep stories. That is, I think, my #1 goal. And I already have some ideas for future maps, which I'm not going to tease right now, but I do have some ideas. Okay, and let's say since we are going in the direction of the lower district, which is very muddy, I could place some mud under the wall. Let's get out my mud blocks. Yeah, also it blends in very nicely color-wise. Maybe even not, wait, let's try something. Maybe not even mud, but What about brown terracotta and some soul soil and soul sand? If it doesn't fit, I can still switch it up. Just a little soul sand, not too much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I also placed it kind of weirdly. Yeah, this is definitely placed weird. But okay, I feel like this is not quite fitting in general. Let's stick with the mud. Wait, though the soul soil isn't even that bad in here. Oh. Okay, I'll just stick with what I know for now. This is also not supposed to be too much. Just this little bit of extra blocks. And why is there gravel? And obviously this is taking shape. We still have a full layer up here that I don't quite know what to do. I could maybe create a little overhang on this house and place some boxes underneath. Yeah, let's do that. Which means I need a trapdoor. Let's even get out some campfires. And of course, slabs as well. Mm. Oh wait, that doesn't work. And some fences to connect. Oh wait, yeah, that is not quite ideal. Oh, that doesn't look great. Yeah, no, that's not it. But what do I do? I mean, we have some of these, but I don't feel like that would fit too well. Maybe I should start with the bottom instead of the top. Okay, let's say we have some fences right here. And yeah, now I can actually build on top of them. This could go not one up. But that was two. So it can go up. No, I'm doing stuff right now and I don't know what it is. Okay, let me try something. Yeah, it doesn't need to be too clean. Having it kind of messy like this would actually make sense. And now it has some more depth. That looks nice. But no, something about this isn't right. Or is it just me right now? Because, yeah, I feel like it's just me. Let's put some barrels underneath. Oh yeah, wait, I completely forgot about street lamps, right? Let's copy the two that we have over. Maybe I should keep them copyable in the air right here. And what was the other one? Right here. Although maybe not that one. This is better because it stands a little bit more freely. Okay. Let's see, where would street lamps work well? Definitely, I think, right on this corner. Yeah, let's just place it right into the path. Then a smaller one right over here. Oh, that might be a little bit too close. Let's just go with it for now and see. Oops. I don't have any tutorials up, but I can explain how to use the mod if you need help. So, I have bound my Axiom tab, this one, to tab. Usually it's right shift. But in here you have a bunch of features. You don't have this side right here. I've added that myself. But you have a bunch of these tools up here, and most of them are pretty self-explanatory. So Magic Select selects everything of the same block that touches. Box Select selects everything in the box, and so on. Selected things can be edited, so it kind of functions as a mask of some sorts. Yeah, freehand draw also just what you'd expect. Freehand draw, you're drawing. Painter, the same, but you're painting. Most of these tools are pretty self-explanatory. And if you need any specifics, feel free to ask. It's just you will probably want to go into like a normal creative world, not super flat, but a normal world, and just go around and press a lot of buttons and see what they do. That's at least how I figured this mod out. Yeah. Okay, I want to have a little bit more cobblestone. Yeah, but I can kind of explain how I'm making decisions. So right now I'm seeing this little overhang and I feel like it could go with some color difference underneath just to make it stick out a little more. And that is why I'm taking out my cobblestone. I turn on replace mode. I have a hotkey for that. And what that lets me do is place blocks without breaking them. So place blocks on top of others. Yeah, now we already have a slight color difference from the blocks underneath the roof and the outer blocks, and that creates some kind of highlight, you could say. Well, not really, but let's just say for now. Um, yeah, so usually what you want to do to toggle this replace mode is press Alt on your keyboard, and then you get this menu. And right here you have this button, which is replace mode, and you would have to manually toggle it on and off. And so I just, because it's the one I use the most, I just set up a keybind. You can do that in your normal controls path down here. As you can see, I set it to caps lock, so I have visual representation on my keyboard on whether or not it is on or not. So if I toggle caps, or if I press caps lock, like this little lamp on my keyboard starts shining, so I can see that it's on. Yeah, one thing that I would also recommend turning on is no clip. This is the one at the very top, and it lets you fly through blocks easily. Yeah, and the rest is yeah, you can figure most of this out yourself. So let's keep going. Now this is still very empty. I am aware of that. What could I add in here that would make it feel more full? Mm, a fountain, of course, but I feel like that would take too much space. Or would it? Do I just try it out? Okay, let's try building a fountain. Just because why not? Though no, that... Oh, I don't know. No, never mind. We have some kind of plants that I could kind of fill space with. Okay, I mean, eye blossoms or wither rose. Dead corals are also are always very nice for that. Mm, I feel like having some gameplay additions would be nice. So one thing that I will most likely do is place spawners underneath the street lamps, because that's just a nice little space to put them. There's some greenery, definitely. Something to hide behind. Maybe some differences in elevation, so the player could move upwards if they want to. I could also add a little spider pit. I'm not sure if spiders would actually fit in here. I mean, this map is already very full of spiders. Maybe not a spider pit, but some kind of pit. Or a trap. Though I'm not too much of a fan of traps, to be honest. A lot of CTM maps like to use a lot of traps. I personally don't. I just don't find traps to be fun. Sometimes, yes, if you're in a setting where it would make sense to have traps. But one case where it was too much for me, for example, was Untold Story 7, I think, was the one, where like most of my deaths were traps. Not even entities or the environment or me being stupid. It was literally just traps that were instant explosions, and I was just dead. And usually you could say, okay, I can hear the TNT in the background, but the problem is I like to have music on in the background, and TNT is very quiet before it explodes, obviously. And so most of the TNT traps I didn't even hear before they exploded. Okay, the more I look at this though, the more it looks like it's already kind of fine the way it is. Maybe it is me getting lazy. Or maybe it is me realizing that I don't need to over-decorate everything. I hope it's the second one. Yeah, maybe let's just get some noise in here. So one thing that I like to do is you have this tool right here, which is called Tinker. And what it lets you do is right-click blocks, and you can edit their state. So this lets me basically paint cracks into stone, like this. And I like to use that to get some noise in here. It makes sense, this is an old street, not maintained anymore. So obviously the streets will not be too good looking. You want to say it like that. Yeah, and then one thing I also like to do is just go over here. As you can see, I can paint this block and it turns into a stair instead of the real cobblestone block. And the way I do that is with this toggle right here, this replace or type replace. And what it does is it checks if a block that you're trying to edit has a variant of the block that you are holding in your hand. So in this case, I'm trying to edit a stair, and cobblestone stairs exist, so it just replaces it with that. And I like to just go over here and some of the cracks to get some noise in there. And now I feel like it's time for greenery. In general, I still need to put a lot of moss on top of these houses. As you can already see down here, I've already done that. So yeah, let's take out all the blocks that are in here, which is mossy cobblestone, acacia wood, azalea leaves, and tall grass. There's some different kind of leaves in here as well. I don't think we do. Okay, let's also get out the rooted dirt, hanging roots, and mangrove roots. That's a lot of roots. And yeah. So one thing that I could actually do to fill the space is add a little moss pit, honestly. Yeah, just a moss pit, not even much gameplay, just a pit of moss. Get some block variation in here. Some grass on top. And yeah, that already fills in a lot of space. So I know using moss is kind of the lazy way out, but I really love this block and I just cannot stop using it, as you can already tell probably. There is just moss everywhere. Like literally everywhere. It's the best block in the game. And I will die on that hill. I'm very passionate about moss. Mm. Yeah, let's go with that. And now we can paint some of the roofs again with roots. Maybe some hanging roots, mangrove roots as well. At the bottom could work. Hanging from the top could work as well. Just however I feel like. Now I want to make this spot mossy. But the way I would do that is firstly just go over it and just go crazy with the mouse in your hand and replace mode turned on. Now we have a rough pattern. Sometimes it looks bad, sometimes it looks good, kind of up to luck. But you can still hand edit it afterwards. I feel like this is already very nice looking. So what I do next is I add some block variation. So firstly some mossy cobblestone around the moss. And then to round it off, I like to go with acacia wood because that was replaced, type replace doing its thing. Acacia wood, because it already has a very nice color. The gray, the greenish, maybe gray, really blends in well with the moss. And it also fits because this is a wooden roof. But it also fits well together with stone because of that grayish tone that it has. It can really be used with practically everything. Okay, and after adding my moss, I'd like to go over it with some greenery. And that is basically all. You can still add some leaves if you feel like it. Just make sure to leave enough space between the leaves. So usually when you paint trees, or when you build trees in general, they have a lot of air in between the leaves. As you can see here, this looks like it's really full, right? What if I told you it was 60% air? So yeah, when you build custom trees like this, of course there's some variations of trees that don't have this, but in general, what you want to go with is 60% air. And the way you determine this, or the way I determine this, is if I go over here and I take out my noise painter, I usually like to use white. And then here you can customize the percentages. I like to go with 60% air, and then 20 and 20 again for leaves. And then you can just paint over it, and it will do exactly what you would expect it to do. Usually, like, this is a painter, so if you want to paint, or if you want to place blocks instead of replacing them, you would need to apply a mask, which is this, and now I can actually paint it into the air. And you can see 60% air, and it looks completely full. So a lot of people, when building custom trees, make that mistake of going for 100% leaves, or maybe even just 80%, when really it should be much, much lower. Also, keep in mind, if you go into your video settings, and I think under performance, you can turn on, what was it? I don't think it was block face culling, but there's some option to turn off leaf rendering if there are multiple leaves that stick into each other. So looking at this, I can see the leaf right in front of me, as well as the one at the back. And there's some options in the game that turn this off, so that you cannot see inside of the next leaf block. And if you have 100% leaf trees and you have that option on, then your trees just look empty. And a lot of people do have that option on because Minecraft is not well optimized and it takes a lot of performance, and so people like to turn off some graphic settings. In this case, yeah, you're making it harder for their PC, but you'll have to decide on that. But in general, lower percent leaves on trees looks better. Okay, I don't want to go too crazy with the amount of moss on top of these trees. Roofs. But we can go with a little bit more leaves. Maybe extend some of them onto the street. And yeah, looking at this face of the house, I realized that it doesn't have a door. Whoever is inside of that house is probably not doing too well. Let's add some doors to the city. Oh god, yeah, there are no doors. Okay. So most people will probably get into the city over the marketplace, just right here. And so this is from where I want to go to place doors. Again, I am going to do interior, just not now. And now I kind of have to decide where to place doors. I feel like for houses like this, putting one at the front. Oh, that's not right. Putting it at the front is good. I feel like this could go more as a window. So let's place the door somewhere around here. Oops, that was not... Oh no, not again. Okay, it wasn't too much. Luckily. That could have ended very badly. Okay, I need to turn off Tinker. And no updates. Okay, so there isn't a lot of space. But I guess whoever is living here just has to deal with that. Also, the city still needs windows. Yeah, let's get out some oak trapdoors. And add a lot of windows. One moment. Okay. This side doesn't really have space for a window. This one does. Oh well, it's the exact same design. Why not? Because it looks weird. That's why not. I could also alternatively just go with the classic trapdoor. Yeah, let's do that. Now this needs some extra decoration. Let's also get some trapdoors, I say, some slabs out. Maybe stairs would work better. And let's, instead of oak trapdoors, use spruce trapdoors. At least for these sides. And I've not spent enough time building medieval windows. I think it really shows. I have no experience with this. Also, this is not symmetrical. Let's fix that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I need to do some extra research before I can actually deal with that. Let's for now just add some rooted dirt. Yeah, this is kind of like the basic solution. But it works, so why not? At least for now, I can still change it later, of course. That honestly looks better. Oh damn, I'm tired. Yeah, this house, I feel like just on this side. Now maybe 2 windows for this one. Also know that you could place the trapdoors on the sides. Wait, my microphone might be a little bit too far away. Let me reposition. Okay, that should be better. If I was... Oh, wait. Maybe I shouldn't talk while touching my mic, because it makes awful sounds. Well, usually it doesn't, because I have some filters applied, but of course when talking at the same time, it's kind of hard to filter. Yeah, let's go with that. That is fine, honestly. This house needs a door. Originally, I wanted to place the door right in here. But now I feel like that would be kind of a weird decision. Yeah, let's go with in here. Or right at the street. Ah, that's not it. I mean, maybe sometimes the window just doesn't need any extras. And I also feel like I shouldn't do most of the windows once there's an actual interior. I kind of feel like doing them now, just to get it done. Okay, I just wanted to check if I could kind of get inside the hitbox, but it's well aligned. But I feel like trying something weird. Well, that's just a door. Okay, let's not do that. I just wanted to see how it looked. And I feel like this house could actually have 2 entrances because it is so big. So let's place one right here. And then the next one... Oh, this wall still exists. Wait, I could also keep it and say this is just 2 separate houses. Okay, but we do still need windows. So, one right here. Okay, adding extra stairs doesn't work. And this house is kind of unfortunate because it doesn't have space for more windows. I mean, up here maybe? But this would go right into the next house. Which would be weird. Imagine you have a window that just goes straight into your neighbor's living room. Can I stop yawning, please? Why am I so tired? Well, okay, it makes sense. I didn't really sleep enough today. But still, stop yawning. I would like to move the staircase. But let's just get rid of it for now and replace it later. Because I want this place to be an entranceway. Oh, come on. Let's turn off type replace for now. I don't need it at this very moment. I could also go with an extra outline for the windows, right? That's just in case it looks bad. Make a little copy. So I don't have to come up with the block variation again. Oh, well, honestly, maybe if I could stop being tired. I am not. Okay, now it is too much. No, I feel like that's not really it. The idea is there, but let's just go with this basic look for now. Okay, now I feel like this would be a place for a window. I could also try to come up with different window designs, right? We don't need to do this one every time. I mean, mangrove trapdoors have a perfect shape for that, but I don't want to use glass because it doesn't really fit into this world. I mean, ladder or scaffolding windows are also not too uncommon. Lecterns, I should use lecterns more often. Honestly, such amazing blocks. Wait, I just came up with an idea. This might not work, but let's just try it. No, it doesn't work. Okay. I know that a lot of people like to... Yeah, no. I know that a lot of people like to use lecterns for walls. And I also do like the idea, but... Well, it doesn't really fit in right here. Okay, you still need windows. What different kinds of windows were? I think there's... Yeah, okay, but these are out of iron gates. That doesn't really feel comfortable. Yeah, I will do some research on medieval windows after stream. For now, it's not too important, but I just want to get the rough shapes out, like where windows would be placed. This house feels like it could have two big windows, like this. Yeah, for now I'll just use the same design, but I definitely want to switch it up a little bit at a later point. I mean, we still have these. Just in case I really do need something else. Maybe this spot right here would fit. And also one thing that I want to try. Yeah, why not? Let's see if I can do it on some different windows as well. But have I really placed... I think I have placed stairs on every single window. Except for this one, but that's kind of in a spot where it wouldn't really fit. Okay, damn. Let's just keep going. I'm wasting time again. Oh, this should have a door. Where should it have a door? Maybe right here. That is honestly a good spot. Where did my block go? Oh, well, oh, yeah, okay, that's my bad. Okay, now's the question. Does it work with stairs? Not really. Maybe only at the top? Well, that works a lot better already. Wait, I think I just came up with an alternative. I need a slightly darker block than tough. Maybe let's go with deep slate. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing I did with these right here. Adding a darker block underneath the windows to show, I don't know, corrosion or well, uh, you know. But honestly, that works very well in terms of color. Yeah, the color definitely works very well. One window? That's not enough. Oh, well, I see why I did only one. Yep. No, wrong house. Yeah, nope. Okay, that fits in a lot better. Yeah. So for some reason when placing doors, usually you would say, okay, this is the very front part of this house. There is obviously going to be a door here. For some reason, I don't like to place doors at these spots. I like to kind of hide them. So in this case, I would probably place the door somewhere around here or here. Just because I personally feel like if you come out of your house and you have this just big view outside, I don't know, I just kind of don't like something about that. But it does feel cozy to me to come outside to just a small alleyway, like it's just your own little small pathway, road. And from there you can go into the big areas. I feel like that is a lot more, it feels a lot better to me. What was I going to do? Oh yes. No, wait, trapdoors right here? No, that's not it. This is fine. Wrong key. Kind of mixed out my mixed up my keybinds. Also, don't some people like to place slabs right above windows? Well, yeah, I do see the vision, but I don't feel like that's quite it for this place at least. Wait. Oh, I noticed it too late. Oh, damn. We have been going a lot in the playlist without shuffle mode on. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, so now there is a question because both these doors feel good to me. I could also go with placing the door at the very back. That would mean, yeah, you have this open place right in front of you, but it's just an empty place, which is funny to me. Maybe it could be used as some kind of back door, but this house isn't really big enough to excuse a back door. I feel like this is a better spot. But this is in general not a great spot for a house. Oh, come on. No. Yeah, that's better. Or maybe no. No, I'm already too far in. We keep going. Nope. I thought I saw a vision, but I didn't. Okay, we've been adding a lot of windows, but this place still needs some different variations. I think it's time to go back to greenery. I want to add one more moss pit right here. Maybe a slightly bigger one this time. Yeah, that's fine. One more mossy cobblestone. And this would also be a nice place to put a spawner underneath. I think for those moss pits, I want to have slightly tanky mobs. But it's too early to think about that, but yeah. I feel like with every day that passes, I want to work on the actual gameplay of this map more and more. So I definitely want to get to the point finally where we can actually do that. Let me look some things up. Yeah, I've actually, well, okay, I have built a well before, but it's definitely something that I'm not too great at. Yeah, this one right here. Well, it does look pretty fine, to be honest. Okay, but I want to create a new one, not reuse the same one again. So for this place, what would fit? Definitely something stony. I feel like stone bricks would be okay. Some chiseled stone bricks. The roof. How could the roof look? Do I go with polished tuff again? I feel like I do. Okay, let's look at how big this should be. I feel like 5 by 5. Yeah, that could honestly fit. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to stay this way, but I want to create a little outline. And maybe get some depth in here by doing this. There's still something missing though. I feel like it is science. Pale? Oh, I'm just pressing stuff. Oh, not quite. That's not it. Maybe honestly buttons. Yep, that works. And for the very top, just some simple slabs would be fine. I don't want to go too hard on this, since I also don't really know how to build a proper well. This is really not my sort of thing to build. What about... Well, okay, obviously... No, that's too flat. Like these edges are not filled enough. Now for the middle point, I think I want to go with a... what is the block called? Grindstone. Yeah, a grindstone again. Cauldron. And some chains. And yeah, again, I can always change things up. This does not need to be the final design. I do feel like it is kind of out of place. Like, this is not really it. Though it's just the way it is. I'm not good with wells. What do you expect? I should build some more wells in my free time, maybe. Get some of that knowledge in. But this does need some wood. Let's try spruce wood. Or maybe wood for a well isn't such a great idea because of the wetness, and wood kind of molds when it gets wet. But well, that would also mean that I cannot build these roofs. So let's just ignore that. Not everything needs to make perfect sense. Okay, it's not good enough. I wanted to say it's good enough, but I feel like it's not. Okay, this is now going in a better direction, definitely. Okay, let's just dig out a tunnel to the very bottom. So don't fall in here, please. No, this is not going to be another secret area, but I do think I want to create a little underwater cave. Like a while back, I was layouting this area back here, and I was thinking this is like a river, an underground river, and they need to come from somewhere. So why not build an underground water cave? And I originally wanted that to be the secret area of this region of the map. Have a big underwater cave here, but I felt like it wouldn't be fun to play through. And so I kind of scrapped that idea, but I still want to have this world make sense. Like one thing that I didn't show yet, and I'm not going to, or not a lot at least, but this well. I did make sure that there's water at the bottom, and that the cave, from its layout, makes sense that there is water at the bottom. It has since dried out a little bit, but I want to make sure that the world still makes sense. And I feel like if this is a big city, then the people who live here probably have found a very good water source. And so I want maybe place an underwater cave down here. Just to say, here they have enough water to survive. I'm not going to do all of that now, but I still want to get the rough shape out. Oh yeah, I would probably... Oh, I would probably add a lot of extra, like, halves within this. For now it can stay kind of rough. Doesn't matter too much. And let's not fill this with water. And maybe to this level. I mean, this is also enough drinking water for quite a while. Maybe not for a big city. How long could a single person survive from this? Why do I think about stuff like that? It doesn't matter. Oops. Let's just make it all normal stone for now. I can work on that later more. Okay, so now at least it makes sense. This area starts to make more and more sense. And oh no, my flying thing changed again. Oh man, why does it keep doing that? Just keep it the way it was, please. I know, this is making me mad. Toggle it is. Oh no, now I constantly sprint. Oh, it keeps it even if I let go. That is bad. That is very bad. Why is it that way? Wait. Never used that feature. That's cool. Show key hints. But no, none of these are really what I'm searching for. Well, okay, let's just keep going for now. Maybe it'll fix itself again. Until now, it has always fixed itself after a while. Or after restarting the game. I don't know. Ah, wait, is it because I was running around like on foot? I feel like this might be the reason. So let's get some cracks into the street again. So around the well would make a lot of sense. Because obviously a lot of people are walking right here. Everyone needs their daily water. So it would make sense that the street is broken on basically every part or every spot where you can come from. Yeah, especially from the tavern. I feel like a lot of people coming out of there might want to drink some water. Okay, yeah. Yeah, type replace this on. Okay, wait, I have an idea. Maybe to further decorate the well a little bit more to the best of my abilities. I could try to make it look a little bit overgrown. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, yeah, that still looks very weird, but I guess it works. And so now we need street lamps again. So wait, I still have not placed enough moss. Also, I feel like some of these houses should be broken down a little bit more. We could also kind of tell stories with that. Let's say some houses are just slightly broken, so you could say this happened during the time where the sun went down and the time where the map takes place. And we could have some buildings that are completely fallen apart. And you could say those have been there since before the sun went down and nobody cared enough to repair them. That would at least be some kind of story that you could tell that way. Yeah, maybe I want to get some completely broken buildings up here. Maybe I have some broken roofs at this part. We'll just go with this one. Yeah, let's go. So now there is a hole in the roof, and what I would do to fill it in is with the basic blocks that you already know me use. And yeah, it's campfires, trapdoors, and slabs. But we can also add fences and fence gates to that. So I would just roughen this up a little bit. And okay, this I might need to... I would say if this window or this roof is broken, a lot of the parts of the roof that are still standing would be curved kind of downwards. So yeah, like this maybe. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Still don't like the fence gate. That is better. And then obviously we can get some... Oh, it's ringing at the door. I will have to leave for a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. Yeah, I just had to take care of something. Let's get back to building. Yeah, so I want to make the wood around this house to look a little bit rough, because well, the roof fell apart, so maybe it would make sense to have the roof be like slightly moldy in a way. Not even moss, just mold. One thing that I completely forgot about is no, not hanging vines. And another thing that mixes stupidly well together is basically any kind of greenery and these nether sprouts and warped roots. Like if you look at this, so this works more for vibrant areas, not this grayish tone that we have in here. But in general, that blue is stupidly beautiful on the together with very vibrant colors. So maybe one place where that would fit, just for demonstration purpose, I would say somewhere around here. No, okay, maybe the forest actually isn't the place. Yeah, you obviously need some different blocks that would mix well together with that shade of blue. More dark, moody areas maybe. Oh, this one right here. Where am I? Yeah, it's kind of hard to find something where it would fit now out of nowhere. But yeah, it's a very... I kind of want to find a place right now, even if I'm not going to use it. Yeah, it sticks out too much right here. I don't know, but I also feel like this is just because this entire area is so... It's already so grayish designed. Okay, I'm wasting time again. Sorry, I get distracted by these things easily. Usually when I play something like an adventure map, or like recently I've started playing Monumental, which is an MMO CTM server in Minecraft. And I like to just look at how other people build and find some inspiration in that for my own stuff. And yeah, I just found some areas that I found to be very, very nice looking, that I maybe wanted to take some inspiration from, and they did use some of that nether sprout. And also a lot of other servers, or just in general, a lot of newer builds mixed that block in with a lot of other greenery. Sorry, I'm eating my words right now. Mm. I feel like one thing that I could try. So this roof is broken. And one thing that you could do is like as a temporary fix, you could try to use these signs as some kind of block to keep the roof together. Okay, it doesn't fit in this setting, but I want to keep that in mind for future builds. I think I'm at a bad point right now. Mm. Yeah, my creative vision for this place has kind of come to a halt, I feel like. Like right now I'm just trying to um to find something to waste some time. And I want to be honest about this. I feel like right now I don't know what to build. And I'm also not really motivated to keep building. I guess I could keep adding greenery all around this place. But I feel like I would need to go into a kind of building mode that is simply not very possible on stream. Like what I usually like to do is have two instances of Minecraft open, one on the world that is full of inspiration, and one where I build. And I would need to, or I would switch frequently between those. Also have reference images open in the background. And that would simply, my PC is not the strongest, that would simply not work together with streaming and recording. I might need to do some off-cam work. Because right now I don't know. It feels like something is missing at this moment. Something that I need for building. Yeah, I mean, we have not done too much today. Today has been a very slow day, as you can probably already tell. And that is precisely because of that. Because I want to keep building, but I also feel like taking a break. Mm. But I'm conflicted about this. Obviously, I need some time to relax and get the motivation going to not get myself into a burnout with this map. But on the other side, I also feel like I'm already taking it slow enough, and I want to make this progress, and I want to keep going and see this map turn into something. And with already 200 hours in here and no end in sight, I don't know if I keep taking breaks, if I will ever be able to finish this map. Especially considering that it's only one of 3 maps. This is supposed to be a trilogy. I think this is another instance of planning too big, which I'm very good at, I must say. Hmm. I just don't know where to go from here. We have all of these houses. And I want to make this place look nice, but I mean, I don't really... I feel like my building skills are very much determined by how much reference I have open at a specific moment. And I feel like in a moment like this, where I don't have any references open, where I don't have the ability to switch between instances of Minecraft or look at much reference images for a long time, I am kind of at a hold where I cannot really keep going. Yeah, I don't know. I could keep standing here wasting time. I feel like we have this discussion more often than I would like to admit. I mean, I'm also doing this because I want to keep to a routine, to a schedule, and prove to myself that I can do it. And yeah, just build this habit of getting into creative work at a specific time of the day. And that is why I don't really like ending stream early. And I'm still hesitating and thinking if I really want to do this now. Because it is breaking the habit that I'm trying to keep up. I mean, sometimes doing creative work is a drag, and sometimes it is annoying. And see, this is what I mean. Is I'm conflicted. I want to keep going, but I don't know how I want to keep going. Do I do the same thing as last time and just say I'll log in and then disappear? Maybe. Maybe I'll do that. You know, moments like these frustrate me because sometimes I have a specific block in mind that I want to work with, but I don't know how to make it work in the setting that I have. Like in this case, what just triggered that for me was this nether sprout. I want to sometimes I like to challenge myself and I like to take a block that I've seen somewhere else and try to implement it in my own way. But I feel like the way this map is set up is just not allowing for this block to be used right now. Oh, well, maybe it does, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, so this is a very vibrant color. And the rest of this area is simply not. It is very grayish, very washed out, very devoid of life. I mean, you could call this place vibrant because it has all these different colors that mix together. When looking at a block like this, suddenly it all falls apart. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll end stream, but I will keep going in my own build style. And next time I will have something to show for it. Yeah, maybe that would make more sense instead of wasting time. I will keep building for an hour from now on. But again, I'm sorry if you want to watch me build, but I just cannot support that. My PC couldn't handle it. I'm already struggling with recording, streaming, and playing Minecraft at the same time. I could put the render distance down. Let's be honest. But that I don't know if that would help. Yeah, don't worry. If you want to watch me build, I will make a proper recap next time of what I did in this last hour. And I will make sure that it's all that you can follow what my thought process was. But yeah, I'm wasting time again. I will end stream here, keep building for an hour, and I will see you next time. Next stream is going to be on Saturday again from 4 to 7 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know when that is in your time zone, please feel free to look at my schedule tab here on Twitch. And I will see you next time. Bye.